5 minutes, only 5 minutes. This is crazy. The 5 minute sketch, it's something that very often is creating a sort of stress. This cannot be, I want you to make a sketch in 10 minutes and well done, following all the main steps. First of all, remember, when we make a sketch, an ideation sketch, it's not the whole design. So don't be obsessed with details and little things that you would like to make super perfect, because there you already have something that will make you waste time. What we need to do when we do ideation sketching, we have to nail down the right proportions, nice perspective, and then we will use just few tones. You can do also by just shading with your pencil. So first of all, I would like to nail down a perspective. So as you can see, I start with really simple lines, because in my head, my eyes already are seeing more or less the perspective that I am starting to make. I draw big on this A4 format, okay? So you see, we already have a block here, and this is our perspective. So when I look at this, I can imagine that I am doing, minor axis. Don't forget, minor axis goes to the vanishing points on the left. Same thing here. Minor axis going to this vanishing point to the left. I write it here, vanishing point, left. The minor axis of your wheels, okay? So now that I have those lines, I'll put roughly a sort of shadow of this, okay? That is going to be more or less like that, okay? And then I will start taking care a little bit of my line quality, also to define a little bit better, okay, what I'm doing. So now I'm thinking a little bit more about how this car should look, this vehicle, okay? Let's make it kind of flat. Today the trend is to make things that are really kind of flat. So why not? Let's try. Now you see this line? This line is wrong. This is my center line. This is my windshield line on the other side. This one has to go this way. You see? Has to go this way. So I am making that correction. All right. So now I will work a little bit my line work. Then I go down here, and then I come out a little bit, because I want this part, to be around, enveloping really well the back wheel to give a feeling of power. Okay? Okay, now that I did that, I will apply very simple shapes that are the reflection shapes, okay? The light. So this is our side glass. As you know, it's always a cylinder, okay? So let's put that reflection, okay? And as you know, the reflection does not go onto the windshield, okay? Don't make that mistake. It stops before starting, that the surface turns on the other way. So basically we have our A pillar, that it's going to be more or less in this area. The reflections will stop before. Same thing in the back. It stops just before the end, because here we have a big radius or a tight radius and going in the back of the car. So the reflection stops there. Same thing on the windshield. Okay, windshield is a part of a conic shape. Don't forget that. And here on top we have the continuation of the reflection on top of the car, okay? All right, now that I have that, I have to think a little bit about my side body. So what do I do on my side body, okay? Well, I can do something like that, just to create a sort of light spot, like that, okay? You see my section now, and then we have this, don't forget, because this is coming out. Okay, and here the section, it's like coming down, goes inside, comes outside, and comes down again around the rocker panel. Okay, you see, now little by little it's coming out. Then I have to make front light. Now, center line coming down, okay? So the front light, because it's a little bit round, we always have this space, bigger here and smaller in the other part. You see, it looks right. The perspective looks correct. Okay, the last thing I want to do, I want to open up a sort of vertical side air intake, okay? We're gonna place it here. So now you can see that we already have our, our main design. So this is the design. Now the first thing I do, I take the dark marker and I will make a part of my shadow. Okay, you will see. Then I do also the little holes on the side. Okay, you see. And then when I come here, basically, I won't do more. I'll take my medium gray and I will go over, okay? Trying to make a sort of a transition. Now I'll do the wheel well. Here too, okay, just a little bit. Okay, so now we have our shadow. I go back with this marker, okay, and I make that, that transition between the two markers. Now, my reflection onto the rest of the body, it's gonna be like this. Because the reflection will stay on the side of this cylinder, which is kind of flat. So it's almost like a mirror, okay? And I'll put the marker all over. Here too, this is in shadow. And a little bit there. Then I will put it also on top of the roof, of course. Okay? Okay, so now we have, now I let the marker dry. Okay, it's gonna take less than a minute, of course. And what do? I go back and I just make a little bit darker on top. A little bit darker here. You see? I want to make sure that we get the first and the second reading of the surface. Then I have a door cut, okay, that it's gonna be here. right? And then also here, so this is the door, okay? Maybe this is a sliding door, who knows? Let's say that this is a sliding door. So I'll put a rail here. So the door slides, right? So because that's a rail, everything is dark inside. Okay. So because I have that, I don't have to forget that I will have a sort of a pillar, B pillar here, that it's part of the car, so that we kind of understand really how this car is made and how it's the car looking also, of course. All right. Now I take the magic color. I'll take that bright orange. So what the hell am going to do with it? Look. All the reflection. Here too. You see, I let it dry, and then I will do again to make sure that in this part here it's really orange. You see, very strong. Same thing here to increase contrast. I let it dry. Now let's come to the lights. So now it's time to put just a little bit of, not details, but to refine a little bit our line work, okay? So, now here, let's not forget that we have that structure, the B pillar, okay, that it will be shown a little bit behind the glass, okay? Here we have our beautiful S section, right? Here we can define just a little bit better with a little bit of shading. And here also there is a little bit of shading because the light it's hitting, but there is a little bit shading because of the type of section. This is a little bit darker, and this one also like that, you see? Now, the windshield base, okay? This one, I'll just cut a little bit because I would like to make it a little bit softer. You see, a little bit more round. Then we're gonna do this one too. And here I will just take my marker and put a little bit of reflection here. So this is in shadow. Let's not forget that. So now that it's dry, I will go a little bit darker because the core is a little bit darker. Okay, now a few details on the light so that we understand better how this light is. So we have this big ring, it's gonna be all LED, okay? You see, I play with the line quality, and here just a little bit. We don't do too much. All right. Now, last thing I would like to do is that we have to put a little bit of wheels, graphics, so that it helps to understand a little bit better, our car. And we can do this very simple. Just go with our marker over. Okay. All right. Then we can just take this and just make a quick shading like that, so that we put a little bit of core. There you go. And the sketch is finished. If you make this in 10 minutes or 15, it's fine. But this should be the time that you should use to make a sketch like this, a very quick idea that after you can, you can trace, you can put it underneath and then sketch again to improve its design. You can do, of those ones, you can do, I don't know, 10, for example. You start around 6 o'clock in the afternoon at home, tranquil, and after 2 hours you have 10 of those, 15. So this is the advantage of making those sketches that are 5-10 minute sketch. You have a brief, you have a project, you can nail down a side view, you look around, you make the 3/4 front, 3/4 back. In one evening, in a couple of hours, you can do at least 10 sketches for that type of styling theme that you wanted to do, and then explore another one. And why is it so important to go kind of, I don't want to say fast, but to make those type of ideation sketches in 5-10 minutes? It's because at work, that's exactly the amount of time designers take to make their ideation. Because when we make presentation during projects, and we are at the first step of the project, which is ideation sketching, there are 5, 6, 7 designers in competition between each others with tons of those little sketches. This is exactly the time they use, to make those sketches. Thank you very much. Put your like and subscribe if you're new. Thanks.